Hello everyone, it's Quick Flash here with a quick update video. This update is version 0.1.25. This version here fixes a few bugs from version 0.1.23 and 0.1.24. If you've seen the previous video, feathered pids is now on a slider. It's a 0 to 100 value versus before it was just an on-off. So that'll be really nice. Something else that we've changed is, as you can see here, the Q values are now split into roll, pitch, and yaw on non-helio flight controllers, because as you can see I've got an omnibus flight controller here on a little whoop. And what that allows us to do is, just like on a normal helio board, we can filter per axis with the Kalman filter rather than just filtering, all the axes at once. So that's kind of neat. Another thing that we've added is this new dynamic, there we go, low pass type. That's what we want. So we've added this dynamic biquad filter. Now, unfortunately, just because of some annoyances with the way the coding works, you can only use the dynamic biquad on your low pass 1 filter, not your low pass 2 filter. And what this filter is it's a dynamic biquad filter that is similar to the filter that actually runs on the helio flight controllers. And so you can change the frequency of this filter by, changing the value that it's at. And the higher you raise it, the less it will filter. And the lower you have it, the more that it will filter, obviously. And so it's a dynamic filter, so if you set it to, say, 50 Hertz, then the lowest the filter will ever be is 50 Hertz. But the most that it'll go up to is 500. And so if you're doing quick maneuvers or other tricks, it'll be above 50 the whole flight. Yeah, you're really only going to be at 50 Hertz if your error is 0 and your quad's not moving anywhere. Yeah, so that filter should be interesting to play with. Because we are adding this extra filter, you will want to be running, less filters on your dterm as well as with your other low pass filter, because I think that it's still probably going to be good to run a static low pass filter as your gyro low pass 2, just to sort of clean up whatever this filter misses, especially as it jumps around because it's dynamic. Yeah, so there's those new filters. You can also use this dynamic biquad filter on the dterm, and if you're putting it on the dterm, it should work for both helio flight controllers and non-helio flight controllers to put this dynamic biquad on the dterm. The only sad thing about putting it on the dterm, and I didn't have time to try and figure any way around this, is with the dterm you can only set one type for the filter. You can't do like with the gyro here where you can set each filter to be different. Here they both have to be the same, and right now in the GUI it says Kalman, but that's actually your dynamic biquad. And yeah, if you're using a non-helio flight controller, this won't work properly either for changing your IMUF settings for your your Q and W for the Kalman stuff. You'll just have to do that in the CLI or in the OSD. But yeah, just like always, if you have any questions, let me know. I have test flown this, so I do know that it flies. From my testing, I've found, I'll just go back to this screen right here. I found that I had to raise my PT1 filter quite a bit, as well as put my dynamic biquad filter up fairly high before I could get rid of some oscillations. And these were just honestly oscillations from filtering too much. And I didn't mess around with the Q or the W, so if I would have raised my Qs and lowered my W, that may have fixed it as well. That's just a little bit of a tuning tip for all of you testers, but once again, thanks for testing this, and hope that you all enjoy this build and enjoy the feathered PIDs on a slider, as well as splitting up the Q values to be per axis, as well as the dynamic biquad. Thanks, and have a great day.